There's two ways you can deal with the hard stuff. You can whine, complain, or you can look within yourself and find that deep down pain that's hidden behind the frustration. Sometimes you might have something holding you back, or sometimes you might be jealous. So here's how it is. You don't have to change what you're dealing with. I'm not going to wake up tomorrow and not have autism, but you can change how you deal with it. For an example, a couple days ago on a Tuesday night, I was laying in bed, and I was thinking about something that has been weighing on me for a few years now. I've been afraid of turning 18 / becoming an adult. It's been very scary for me to think about, and I'm like, how am I going to have my life together? How am I going to finish high school? My sister's starting high school, and I'm not, because I'm homeschooled. I'm not there yet, and that's okay. But what I decided to think of it as is I'm on my path, and I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be on my path. Not what you're supposed to be. I'm on my yellow brick road, as I like to think of it, from The Wizard of Oz. So I like to think of it as I'm on my yellow brick road, and I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be right now. And that's how I turned it into a positive word, because I'm turning 18 next month. So instead of celebrating my birthday, I'm going to celebrate my yellow brick road, and I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. So remember, you do not have to change what you're dealing with. You got to change how you deal with it. And if I can do it, so can you.
I'm so glad you joined us today. That makes you a part of CSL Dallas, and we love that our community continues to grow. And we also love to give great spiritual content. And a way that you can participate in our community is financially give to it. It's easy to do so. Go to CSLDallas.org and hit the give button. Or you can set up a text giving mechanism at 972-954-4404, a safe and secure way to send us money whenever you watch a great message like this. So thanks for giving, and buckle up, because here comes the spiritual content.
All right, so we're going to do something a little bit different than you're used to. We have actually a lineup of speakers that we're going to do. So the first is we'll start with Chuck Sutherland. Come on up, Chuck.
Hello. So today I'm going to be introducing the Teen Talk, and so I think you kind of all know me. You guys know me as a dancer. I dance all the time when I'm here. So I'm just going to say I have a topic, and that topic is, well, in J.O.Y Village, there's something that we talk about called treat and move your feet. It's something that I actually really kind of think about all the time. Is if you set an intention, that intention is good. It's meant to help you. And when you set an intention, you're helping yourself move towards your goal. But my teacher once said, you might want to dig a hole, but that hole will not be dug unless you're out there with your shovel. That's what she said once. She said that to a kid who said, I want to do homework, but I can't. So that's what she said to that kid. Now, work doesn't always mean sweating and being outside for 7 hours straight. It could just mean putting in effort, like saying hi to someone you like, or it could be painting something, or it might even be writing a script for Youth Sunday. It's great to set an intention, but you always need to put an effort for what you want. An intention really does help you because it helps you remember what your goal is, how you're gonna complete your goal, but nothing can really be complete without effort. Like, for example, effort can be simply walking from the chair right there all the way to here. That's not work, that's effort. And I could say, I want to be right here. And I could sit over there for the next 1,000 years and be like, yeah, I'm just gonna I'm gonna go over there. But if I don't get up and walk over here, it's not gonna happen. Something else I have to say is that there's a quote by Warren Buffett, and that is, someone's sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree long ago.
Next, we have Audrey Orr. So the teens are going to be talking about a couple of different things. Some are going to talk about their camp experience, and some are going to talk about how they apply Science of Mind to their life. So this is Audrey Orr.
Hi. Hello. I'm here to talk to you about how using your spirituality can change your mindset. So what do I mean when I say mindset? Well, I mean spiritual mind treatments that I learn at camp and you guys learn here. Also, what do I mean when I say mindset? Well, I mean things like anxiety, frustration, worry, anger, depression, and just plain negative Nelly thinking. You might be asking yourself, why am I qualified as a 17-year-old girl? Well, I'm going to tell you. I have autism, so my brain works a little differently than yours. So I deal with things on a daily basis like frustration and anxiety and getting stuck on plain things like, why does the pasta taste different than yesterday? And that's kind of how my life goes. So there's two ways you can deal with the hard stuff. You can whine, complain, or you can look within yourself and find that deep down pain that's hidden behind the frustration. Sometimes you might have something holding you back, or sometimes you might be jealous. So here's how it is. You don't have to change what you're dealing with. I'm not going to wake up tomorrow and not have autism, but you can change how you deal with it. For an example, a couple days ago on a Tuesday night, I was laying in bed, and I was thinking about something that has been weighing on me for a few years now. I've been afraid of turning 18 / becoming an adult. It's been very scary for me to think about. And I'm like, how am I going to have my life together? How am I going to finish high school? My sister's starting high school, and I'm not, because I'm homeschooled. I'm not there yet, and that's okay. But what I decided to think of it as is I'm on my path, and I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be on my path. Not what you're supposed to be. I'm on my yellow brick road, as I like to think of it, from The Wizard of Oz. So I like to think of it as I'm on my yellow brick road, and I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be right now. And that's how I turned it into a positive word, because I'm turning 18 next month. So instead of celebrating my birthday, I'm going to celebrate my yellow brick road, and I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. So remember, you do not have to change what you're dealing with. You got to change how you deal with it. And if I can do it, so can you. Thank you.
All right, next we have Muntu Edwards. Come up, Muntu.
All right, so my name is Muntu. This is my second year of camp. I will be talking about my experience for my first camp, which was last year. So the first time I heard I was going to camp, I was a little nervous. I didn't know what to think about it. I was excited because it would be my first time ever going on a plane, but I immediately started hating planes when I got on it because it was uncomfortable. So I was in a rush to land finally. So when I finally landed at the airport, I could see a bunch of people just sitting. I was kind of surprised because I had no idea that camp was this big. So like, you know, I was a little confused. So we finally started heading towards the camp. So when I got there, I saw a bunch of people hugging, crying, tears of joy. I was a little confused, but like, it was my first camp, so I didn't understand. But after a few days of being at camp, I immediately understand why people were crying in tears of joy, because it's an amazing experience. You know, I was a little shy back then. I was scared I would be judged, but you know, I wasn't really social, so I didn't make a lot of friends, but I thought it would be a good idea to, you know, leave my safe zone, as in be more social, don't be boxed in, or keep myself from meeting new friends, you know. So I started making new friends. I started hanging out with more people. I met amazing people there. It was an amazing experience. You know, I learned that it's okay to express yourself. It's okay to be yourself, meet new people, and camp is a great experience.
Next, we have Raphael Sandoval. So I just want to say, last year I couldn't get Muntu up here to give a speech. Not only did he give a speech this year, he got up and sang. I think.
Okay. So today I'm going to be talking about how camp changed me. So as she said, my name is Raphael. I think I do a pretty good job of participating in the singing group. It's a lot of fun. And I tend to be a little louder in the sense that I express myself more vividly because it's fun. And it's like, for example, the dance that we did for the songs, I was telling my friends to do that. I was the one who told them what to do, so. That's a little about who I am. But anyway, so I'm gonna go back real quick to the first camp and explain how things changed from camp to camp and then how it changed me from there. So originally last year I went to the camp, and you know, I kind of knew what it was in the sense that my sister had already gone and I had gotten a pretty good idea of what it was. And I went and I saw what was going on and I was kind of like, it was interesting. Kind of what I expected, kind of not, but you know, just roll with it. And I was not super open about myself because while I express myself, I don't express super private things. I keep most of myself to myself. And so when I went, I kind of tested out the water and you know, just kind of dipped my feet into it. Didn't try a whole bunch, but I tried enough to kind of get, you know, figure it out because I wanted to know what is this? What's going on? How does it feel if I do it? And so I didn't completely open up or anything. It was just kind of like a little taste, you know, a little tester. But this year I decided to make myself a promise before I went. I decided to say, no matter what, I'm going to open up, okay? And I had this vision for myself of what it was going to be like, and I had hoped to open up. So then I go, and I walk in, and I see my group, because we have these family groups. And so when I got to my family group, I looked around and I said, you know what, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. You know, I was like, wait a minute, and I switched now. And you know, first day went by, and that was how it went. Second day went kind of at the same. I was still like, I was on that ledge, and I told my group that. I was like, you know, I'm not certain what I'm going to do. And last year I had this problem, and so this year I was like, I don't know what's going on. But I decided, you know what? No. I promised to myself I was going to do this. Let me do this. So I did, and I felt a lot better for it, and so that was really cool. But so at camp this year specifically, what I realized was that my presence was acknowledged, and that people actually knew when I was there. People knew what I was doing. It wasn't just kind of like if I was there or if I wasn't, it didn't really matter. It'd be kind of the same. It was like I actually changed things, and so that was cool. And I figured out that people actually cared about who I was and how I felt and things like that, and so that was really neat because I'm used to kind of going to doing something and then kind of feeling like the extra, the 1+ or whatever. And so when I'm gone, I'm like, that's fun, and I'm glad I got to do it, but I have to wonder about the people there. Did they even care that I was there? Would it have changed much if I wasn't? And so it's cool that at camp this year, I got to learn that people actually do care and know that I'm there, and that was good to feel. And I also made meaningful friends who helped me to understand what unconditional love is and what it feels like. And so for me, I tend to block out anything that I don't know. If I don't understand it or if I don't know what it is, I'd rather not have it, so that way if it's bad, then I don't have to worry about it because it's gone. You can't worry about something if it's not there. And so this year, like I said, I opened up and I let it happen, and so that was really cool because it felt good, and I got to learn about it, and I got to receive it, and that was neat. And so I also realized that it's okay to share yourself and your vulnerabilities and to be true to yourself when communicating or working with others. And that's something that I don't do a lot. I kind of do whatever the heck I want, and I just say what I want to say. And instead of saying what I know or what I think, I just say whatever. And so it's cool to understand that it's okay to say what you think, to say what you mean, to say what you want to say, and for it to be accepted rather than just whatever, just whatever they're saying. And so it's cool to be acknowledged yet again in that people knew what I was saying and they understood what I was saying, and I got to say what I wanted to say and for it to be heard. And that was basically how camp changed me this year. It was just a great experience because I opened up, and not only did I learn a little bit more about myself, I learned a little bit about how people see things. So that's pretty neat.
Okay, next we've got Stone Fisher. So I just want to say, when these kids, you don't get to see it as much as I do, but they come back a little bit more open every year. There's a transformation that happens, and then they talk about it. But I get to watch it. It's really amazing, and it's because of you all that contributed the funds for them to go. So I just want to say thank you for that, right? Give yourself a hand.
Hey, so I'm Stone, as she said, and I'll be talking about how camp changed me with the way I look at myself. So the first camp, I didn't really have anything wrong with me. I was just the perfect little kid that had no problems. Everyone there had something, and I was just there, like, all happy and everything was perfectly fine. So then this camp that just happened, I came, and I was with them. I had problems. So they have these families that they call families, and and they have this rule that you can't tell anything to anyone, so you feel comfortable with like talking about things that you won't talk about at home, things that you don't feel comfortable talking with your friends or your family because you're scared that they might tell someone. And so this one workshop helped me out that you have this box on the ground, and you crawl through it. It's got this like cardboard panel that you write all your like things that you don't like about yourself, with scares. And so you put it down and you make an affirmation, and they write it down on a piece of paper, and then you break through the problems, and they take home this little slip, kind of about this size, and you can read it constantly, and it helps you a lot. And so I haven't been okay with the way I look and everything. I felt I didn't like myself, and my family helped me out a lot because I would be able to go to them and like say things, and they would comfort me instead of like say, why don't you do this, or why aren't you? So they'll help me, and they make these workshops that help you a lot with this, that you can say these things. And so I came home with a slip of paper, and I lost it now. I can't find it, but I memorized it. But I would say in my little affirmation about every day I woke up for about 2 or 3 weeks maybe, and I'm starting to see signs of that I can look at myself and not feel like I don't want to look at myself anymore. So, and so I've come home and I've been able to really express myself without concerning that people will like think that I'm not good enough. So I can be friends with people that like me for who I am, not who I am not. And so what I just want to say is that the affirmation really does work. I came here and I didn't really think any of this worked. I never really prayed. I would pray, but I wouldn't really pray. I'd just open my eyes and like talk with my friends. And and so if you stick here, it will really it will help you out and show you that it really does work. So all that to say, this stuff really does work. Thank you.
Next, we have Alyssa Gonzalez.
Hey guys. So I'm Alyssa, and I'm about to share something with you guys that is kind of hard for me to share. So bear with me if I get nervous. Okay. So this is from July 14th, 2015. I'm living a never-ending nightmare. I feel so alone, as if I'm in a room screaming at the top of my lungs, yet no one seems to hear. Or maybe they do, but they choose to ignore it. You see, I don't have very many friends. They all don't care. They're there when fun is intended and don't seem to be there when I need someone. Okay. I look in the mirror and I see a young girl who I can't read my handwriting, is ugly and is unimportant. And I hate what I see. Okay. Okay. So when I was 14, I wrote that. I'm now 17. So when I wrote this, I had no love for myself and no love for my life. I thought about suicide, and I thought about harming myself. My mom eventually found out about this because moms find out everything. So she sent me to therapy, which helped. But then when I went into high school, I met this really toxic boy who made me do things that I didn't want to do and made me feel really bad about myself. And because I had no self-love, I had no self-respect, and I couldn't stand up for myself. At this point, my mom thought that I really needed help, so she told me that I either needed to go to a support group or go to her with this church she found online. And, well, I chose the church. So one of the most vivid things that I remember is during this workshop we were still upstairs in that dark teen room. Do you guys remember that? I don't know if y'all walked in there. It was so dark, no windows, nothing. So I remember doing this workshop where people put a paper behind our backs and then they wrote what they saw in us. So affirmations and stuff like that. So ironically, I got someone telling me that I was grounded. So that was very untrue at the time, obviously. So when I saw, because we had to take the paper off and then we had to read it. And so when I saw this, I felt really overwhelmed because if someone else could see it, how is it that I could not see it in myself, you know? And I got comments like, "You're so beautiful," and things like that. And it was just so amazing to have loving people telling me all these loving things. And if people were thinking these things about me, then maybe I could think these things about myself. So that's when I learned about affirmations. And at first, I didn't really believe them because I would say them and I would still feel the same way. I didn't feel a change, but I kept saying them and pretending like I felt that way, and eventually I tricked myself into believing it. So that's when I learned that I can control my life and my life is in my hands. And whatever I put into the universe, that's what's gonna happen to me. So those small comments we say like, I'm so dumb or I'm so stupid, you are unconsciously manifesting them, and that is not okay because we are all perfect and we are all one, and the universe is perfect, so we are perfect. Okay. Your thought is everything, and you can change it with one simple affirmation. So if you guys look under your chairs, you will see a card. Some in the back don't have any, but you can just take some from another chair. Okay, so it took me a really long time to write these, so please don't lose them. Okay, so I want you guys to read it to yourselves first, and then, okay, I'll give you time. So read them. Okay, now I want you to say them out loud. Come on, say it. I don't hear you guys. Come on. I still don't hear you guys. Okay. So I hope you guys keep this and practice it every day. So from feeling alone, ugly, unworthy, and incapable of love, I went to having amazing, healthy relationships with my family and friends, feeling and knowing I am beautiful, feeling valuable, and knowing that I am love, and love surrounds me everywhere. I'm not doing it. Okay, so I want to read this that I wrote 5 months ago, March 18th, 2018, 3 years later. I deserve everything in my life right now. Everything that is happening to me is because I deserve it. I'm thankful to be in a happy relationship. I'm thankful to being in a loving home. And I'm thankful to being in awesome friendships. This has been the best year of my life. Everything has come to me with ease and love. I am so fulfilled. I'm so thankful to be in this life. I am so happy. Thank you.
Thanks, Alyssa. Now we have our final speaker, Mila Fisher. And this stuff really does work, right?
Is this on? Oh, yay, awesome. Hey guys, I'm Mila Fisher. I'm part of the teen group here at CSLDallas, and today I'm going to be talking about self-love and self-confidence. So I'm going to start with my journey through self-love. And so in my journey through self-love, I've found in my life that there are roughly 3 stages of the path to self-love or the progress of self-worth. And so these are mine that I've figured out, and they can occur chronologically, they can occur beside each other in different paths. They can occur one after the other and keep cycling. And it just really depends on where you are in your life, who you are, and how you process things. Now, about 3 years ago, it was freshman year of high school, I wasn't very self-confident myself. I had a lot of negative thoughts. I wasn't comfortable in my own skin. I would make derogatory remarks about myself in my head on the daily. And I wasn't good enough. Nobody would like me. I'm judged. Oh God, if I wear this, somebody's gonna look at me and go, why would I want to be friends with her? Like stuff like that. Just the little stuff that chips away. And I had no idea I was doing this, and it was just a part of my life, and I was just kind of down. And at one point, I think I was talking with my lovely mother here, and we were processing, and I realized that I was thinking this way about myself. I don't want to think this way about myself. I don't want to be every day telling myself how terrible I am. That's just not how I want to live. So this begins the first stage, which is the realization. You, in your life, and suddenly you realize that you want it to be different. And in my life, my realization was I want to think better about myself. I want to be comfortable with who I am and not worry about what other people think of me. And all these negative thoughts and all these negative beliefs, some of them are obvious. Like, you look in the mirror and you go, you don't like what you look at. That's an obvious, but then there's the sneaky ones. The sneaky ones are the worst ones. And they're the ones that, for example, say you don't take an opportunity because, oh, if I fail, that would be so terrible, so I'm not even going to try. That's a sneaky one. And then there's one like where you give up something you're passionate about because there's so much people that could be so much better than me, so why even try? And those are the ones that are deep set in the subconscious. Those are the ones that will get into your brain and stay in there, and you won't even realize they're there because they're there under the guise to protect you. So those are the ones you really have to process through and dig into the depths and go, I know who I want to be, and I know what aligns with that vision, and everything else can leave. And so after I had this realization, and after I was like, okay, now how do I get there? This is the second stage. You have to take action. Like Chuck was talking about earlier, treat and move your feet. It's a very important part to this. And as I was changing myself, and as I was changing my views, and as I started to get more positive and more self-confident, I realized that I was sort of fading away from the people I was hanging out with. Because they were on the level of self-hate and complaining, and everything was going wrong, and there was nothing that could possibly go right in their life. And I would just like to say, I still love these friends, and we still get together, but I don't hang out with them as much. Because there's an energetic shift that happens. And when you're on the same plane with somebody, you hook up, and it's great, and suddenly when you start to move up, and they're staying there, it starts to shift. And so I started to shift, and I started feeling that. And specifically at school, I sort of stopped hanging out. I started doing more stuff that was good for me. During lunch periods, during off periods, I would go practice, or I would go to tutoring, or I would go talk to teachers, and I would go, and slowly I found myself surrounded with people who were ascending and growing like me. It was a healthier environment, and it was better for me in the sense that I was confident, and I felt comfortable in who I was. Now, the third stage is maintenance. So if you're going to have this point, there's going to be stuff that's just thrown at you. There's going to be stuff that happens in life. There's going to be things, especially in me, that keep cropping up. Old beliefs just keep telling me I'm not good enough. And that's the point where you got to go, no, I already figured this out. You can leave. You can go away now. And the maintenance is something, it's prolonged. It's a process. It's not like you wake up Sunday and go, I'm going to love myself, and that's it. That's all you got to do. So for some of you, the lucky ones, I'm so proud of you. That is how your brain works, and that's amazing. That's amazing. I'm serious. If you can do that, that's amazing. But for me, it's a process. It's something that's ongoing. And I have to constantly, every day, go, this is who I want to be. This is what I want to believe. I am amazing. I am wonderful. That is what I believe. Thank you. Now I invite you all to sit down and close your eyes. Take a deep breath and center yourself in the knowing that our universe is perfect, that our spirit is all-encompassing, that our God is one and all and many. And as that light runs through the universe, Spirit, God, it runs through each one of our hearts and our minds and our bodies, and all of our potentials run together as one. And I know that I am a part of that. As I stand here connected to this ground, connected to the earth, as that light runs through our planet, runs through all of our feet and into our bodies, and I am part of that wonderful, perfect consciousness. And I know that to be true because we are all one. We are all connected. We are all a part of this. And in that knowing, I am thankful for all of our light and all of our contribution to this wonderful, beautiful consciousness that we share. And in this knowing, in this gratitude, I release it into the universe as we say together, and so it is.